Hello everyone, Professor Kagan here, and I'm sure that you haven't been living under a rock and that you've heard that E3 2020 has been cancelled due to that lovely little virus that's been treading its way all around our lovely planet. Now, while of course, the E3 has been a staple of the video game industry for over 20 years, and it's kind of been a sort of Christmas in June where the gaming industry can get together and share its excitement over new announcements such as games, consoles, or gaming accessories or services, and just it's kind of just one big celebration of gaming in general. So, rather than talk about how sad I am over E3 2020 being cancelled and what all's going to happen to any announcements that could have or would have been made around that time, I'd like to talk to you all about the first E3 I ever watched. And it was quite an E3. It was the E3 where Nintendo announced the Wii U. And I still remember it. I found out about it. I had my popcorn ready to go. I had a drink in my hand. I was sitting in the opposite room in my house because that's where my computer was at the time. And I started watching it. And then Reggie Fils-Aimé comes out on stage. And he talks about how the Wii, was for everyone, so everyone can play. Gaming is for everybody. And then he starts talking about gaming on a personal level and how Nintendo wants to take the experience back to what a single gamer while still making games for everyone. And then they unveil the name Wii U. I laughed, and I was maybe 12, if that gives you indication of my age. This was quite a while ago. I was 12 around that time, and even then, I laughed. I was like, really? That's what you're calling it? And I always found it funny that in that first reveal trailer they did for the Wii U, they barely showed the console. Like, it was all focused on the gamepad at the time. It was a bit of a prototype. It had like the 3DS circle sliders. And I always found that weird even then. It's like, okay, what does the console look like? And it kind of just looked like a slightly fatter, longer Wii. But they also announced Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And I, as you no doubt known from the videos on my channel, I'm a really big fan of Luigi's Mansion. And I was very excited for that. And of course, my opinion on Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, I don't think it's the best game in the series, but it's still pretty solid for what it is. And I believe we also saw we saw footage for other 3DS games, like Mario and the sort. It was a very strange time. It was the first E3 I ever saw. And of course, it was so long ago. Mainly my experience was just the Wii U. The Wii U, man. Even I could see just how much of a issue it was. It's kind of sad. It wasn't one of Nintendo's greatest performances, but they've certainly had really good E3s and really bad ones. Wii music, yay! But back then, I was really more of a Nintendo fan more than I was just a video game fan in general. That was really the only presentation I had watched. Nowadays, I generally watch most, if not every, presentation at E3 except for Electronic Arts because, well, I'm really only interested in The Sims, and I don't really like Electronic Arts. It does kind of suck that E3 2020 has been cancelled. I suspect that around that time, Microsoft will have its, Inside Xbox, yes. And then Sony will probably have a State of Play, Nintendo will have the Direct, and any third-party announcements will probably just be made in those. Or maybe we'll have some kind of online E3. I've not seen that tossed around by E3. I've seen users online talk about it, but who knows? Anyway, if you've got any fun experiences with E3, maybe you've been there, or maybe you've watched the stream and you had a funny moment, please leave it in the comments and tell me about it. And with that, y'all take care and have a great day.